Howdy. Yesterday I watched the new Exorcist movie. And just a heads up, there's gonna be spoilers ahead. Anyways, to get to the meat and bones of it, I rated a 3 out of 10. You might be asking why so low? Well, the only saving grace about this movie was the camera angles and the color palette. Other than that, it's a lazy horror movie in a time when movies seem to have devolved into, what can be the laziest without innovating. Granted, I'm all for reworking and remaking old IPs, but this movie just feels off. Part of the problem is it felt like the editing of the film was off. For context, me and 5 friends went to the theater at about 10:30 p.m. There was only like 3 other groups that were actually there, and in all honesty, they weren't like too into the movie. Actually, the people behind us could not shut the fuck up the entire movie. As well as the beginning of the movie, it starts off, they're in Haiti, and it's a husband and a wife. The husband's a photographer, the wife's pregnant, and she gets 3 minutes of screen time, and then this earthquake hits Haiti, right? It's supposed to be the big Haiti earthquake. She gets trapped under, some rubble in the building. He runs to go save her, and then he realizes, oh shit, I can't save her. And she's like, oh, whatever you do, protect the baby. And it turns out that, the baby's fucking still in her. Baby gets born, all that, and it cuts to modern day. Now, granted, the movie, as far as I remember, doesn't give you an actual time period. It just kind of is there. And I'm assuming it's probably early 2000s is what it's supposed to be, or sorry, early 2010s, 2013, 14 era. Because the girls maybe... Actually, I take that back. It's probably 2018, because the girls maybe 8, 9. It's hard to really get an age. She's still in elementary school. She has an attitude. They don't really show any phones in the movie, which I thought was weird, but I could also be misremembering. I didn't really write any notes down. Meanwhile, also, before I went to watch this movie, I had some silly juice, so some of it's a bit blurry, but it also doesn't take away from my criticisms. There's a lot of cliche stuff in the movie, at least for me. I'm a big horror guy, so being able to see jump scares and plot points a mile away sucks. There's a part where they're in this, I don't know if it's an abandoned bunker or if it's an abandoned building's basement. They don't really elaborate, and that's what makes me think editing wise they really cut a lot for the final cut. And they go in there, and it the camera just pans to this rock for about 20 seconds, and then oh no, under the rock there's a snake, and it's a jump scare, and it's loud, and it's and I don't know, I thought that was stupid. And the daughter of the guy, her name's Angela, and I gotta give her credit. Angela's actor's pretty good. The other girl that's her friend, I can't remember her name, but I'm not gonna look it up because that's fucking stupid. She is the most whiny, bitchy white character I've seen in any movie, at least for a kid. And the positive side is she looks very similar to the original actor, or the original girl that gets possessed from the first movie. My biggest issue with this remake is there's a lot of lazy writing, very obvious foreshadowing, and there's a lot of just bad editing decisions. It feels like the movie starts to pick up about an hour in, and the movie's only an hour 50. So when you spend almost more than half the movie just trying to set up a story that at the very end doesn't really matter, it feels like you wasted your time. As well as after the whole bunker scene, I should say leading up to it, she's wearing her mother's scarf because her mom's fucking dead. Rest in piss, will not be missed. And the dad takes the scarf away before she goes to school because he has sentimental value to the scarf. But she's doing a ritual with the stupid fucking white chick that I hate. And while she's doing the fucking ritual, she doesn't have an object to, that has relevance or spiritual connection to the mom. The movie doesn't explain it well, how the rules of their universe work. So when the mom stuff is just gone, it sucks, and it makes no fucking sense. So then she gets, fucking demon enters her, and then they go to the hospital. And at the hospital, you meet the one character that's the neighbor. And the neighbor, it isn't really said if she's like an RN, an LVN, or a CNA, or a doctor, or what she is. She just wears scrubs and a fucking name tag, but it doesn't have her title. So there's... And don't get me started. As someone who's a medical student, watching this movie, they freak out when her heart rate is like 120. And for a child, a heart rate of 120 is not that concerning, normally because smaller bodies, faster heart rate. That's just kind of how it works. So there's a certain point in the movie later on where they start panicking that she's at 120 beats per minute, and I thought it was funny as fuck. And also there's a scene where they have, one, a stethoscope backwards, and two, the blood pressure cuff is on in the wrong spot. I just thought those were kind of funny, but then it cuts to the white girl, and the white girl's like fucking tweaking like the original Exorcist in the hospital. But the one thing I will give them is the actual detectives that get involved with the case, because I forgot to mention they disappear for 3 days straight. They get found on a fucking farm. The actual detective work is probably one of the more realistic detective works I've seen in a movie. They rape test her and all this other stuff. The other thing that I thought was funny was they get boils / blisters on their feet, but whoever did the research ended up looking at diabetic ulcers because they look identical to diabetic ulcers, and it's funny. And sorry if I kind of like stop in the middle of this video. I'm battling a little cold, so I'm like trying to catch my breath, but also like cough like that. But they get home, and then Angela starts acting all weird, and the dad's freaking out. And there's a few just really goofy fucking scenes. Like, she tries to choke him out with a pillow, and he like obviously isn't trying to fight it. And so I thought that was goofy. And then it cuts to the White family, and the White family is just like, oh, she's acting weird. Like, she's acting like she just OD'd on a fucking perk 30, so they don't give a fuck. And it's just so goofy. This movie's so goofy, and especially if you're like me and you're not a big spiritual person, this movie's just gonna be goofy and a waste of time for you. My roommate who went to go watch it with me, he's a Christian, and he's kind of spiritual, so he got scared. Me, on the other hand, I just thought it was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever watched. I would have, rather watched Who Killed Captain Alex about 8 times, and I fucking love that movie. Shout out to Captain Alex. I'll take an early release of Who Killed Captain Alex 2. Just send it my way. And then to like really just cut through all of it, because you don't really need a lot of context. The movie's kind of shit and doesn't give you context in general. They take both the girls back to the one guy's house. They tie them up into these chairs so they can't escape. And then the nurse / like CNA, I don't know what the fuck she is, the neighbor, gets a priest from the Catholic Church. And he's a fucking pussy this whole movie. Like, he sits in his car and prays the whole time. He doesn't fucking go help. He's just like, oh, the Catholic Church won't let me. I can't go help you. Which is kind of against all fucking religious morals, at least for Catholicism. Which I thought was fucking goofy. So he doesn't help at all, and he's kind of a waste of screen time. They only use him like maybe 2 other times, and then his final appearance, he just gets his fucking neck snapped in the most lamest fucking way. Like, the 2 fucking demonic bitches just start twisting their necks, and then his fucking neck snaps. It's retarded, but politely retarded, not in a derogatory way. But with that being said, he dies. No one, they react for like maybe a minute. After that, everyone just ignores his fucking dead corpse in the middle of the living room. And then they, the demons go, oh, you made a decision. You can only choose one of us to save. And then the stupid white fucking dad, I don't remember his fucking name. Let me check my notes. I think his name is like fucking Steven or something. It's some stupid fucking white name. It's like Steven or Ted or some shit like that. He fucking goes, oh, I'm gonna choose my daughter, which is the white daughter. And then, plot twist that you can fucking see from the first 30 seconds of the movie. Wow, turns out that the black daughter has been protected from spirits. So she is completely fucking safe from this, devoiding the entire fucking point of this movie. And guess what? The white daughter dies. But the one thing I'll give them credit for is she dies permanently. They don't just go, oh, she dies for 15 minutes and then bring her back. No, she's fucking dead. But the white family has like 2 other little shits, so like I don't really see the loss there. And the other 2 little shits are kind of insufferable in the few scenes they're in. But anyways, that was my take on the Exorcist movie. I think it's dog shit. Don't watch it. Save your money. And I can't wait for Who Killed Captain Alex 2 to be released on Blu-ray. That's it. See ya.
I just wanna fuck a dude, his cum is so sticky like glue. I made his dick hard and it grew, his dick is so cool. Sucking on him right after school, his dick is all covered in my drool. I just wanna fuck a dude.